Tim, they coming after our horny games, man. No more horniness on the timeline, bruh. No more horniness on the main line.
What do you mean?
So I came across this story this past week. I think it's, if again someone can correct me in the comments. I think it started with Steam, and then it moved on to another relatively famous online gaming platform that allows for not safe for work adult games. Where, and before I continue the story, before I get my jokes off to some degree, rightfully so, there was a game that was posted in which the premise was allowing you as your character to commit acts of sexual violence.
I heard about that.
Yes, towards, I think, women in particular. They pulled it because, of course, and for whoever made that, knock, FBI open up. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? But it opened the door to this other conversation of a lot of the games on Steam, a lot of the games on this other platform that were under the NSFW label were automatically pulled from being able to be sold, because the credit card companies involved was like, we're not going to allow you to use our services to check out as a form of payment for your customers with these type of games on your platform. So it then opened the conversation of, is this something where we're getting an intrusion on our rights, especially to put out product? Because obviously not everything under that label is SA. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of it is just two consenting adults doing whatever consenting adults do underneath that simulator. Sims Uncensored, if you want. You know, like, call it whatever. Like, what are your thoughts on the blocking? Are people overreacting to, like, this is the beginning of when they start cutting things down? What are your general thoughts on that?
No, that's human nature. Yeah, you know, when obviously there are bad apples. I'm glad that game got pulled, because that's that's beyond concerning.
Yeah, it's like, what?
And because, you know, yes, I do believe in freedom, but then sometimes there are people like, yes, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I like when I say in terms of freedom, like for example, like, I enjoy erotic photography. Like, I love the artistry of, like, intimacy, touch, and things of that nature. But then there are some people who take it even further, where the point is, like, now it's perversion.
Right. Now it's just porn. And then some.
Not even that, like, even like, you know, like, porn, like, you know, is an art form to certain people. But then now there's categories where it's a bit more, and it's
shocking.
Like, what do you do with do you do with that? And then I get it, you know, there's a lot of blurred lines when it comes to that, like that. There's a lot of blurred lines. I do feel, you know, when you get into situations like that, you shouldn't generalize, because then everybody gets impacted. No, you need an actual system. Like, hey, let's go through with what is within our ecosystem to rightfully, I wouldn't say judge, but assess what is going on around us. Like, you know, for one of the biggest things, like, for example, Pornhub being removed. Yes, Pornhub should be removed, because there has been a lot of people who have abused that platform to, like, you know, for revenge porn and underage without and no consent, all these other things. Like, a lot of perversive things have happened on these platforms
with no regulation on their side. Nothing.
Because, like, that's what happens when there's so much fast money. It's like the regulations start to get, like, watered down and fizzled out. And, you know, I get it. You know, people have a certain level of art form. Like, there's some people who are into that, who are into kinky things, which is perfectly fine. I do feel like, you know, everybody should not be penalized for what a person did. But then, you know, yes, you know, we have to really come to these level of conversations about, like, these very intimate but sometimes dark side topics. And I get it, you know, human nature. especially I would say due to like certain societal standards, like there's just certain people who don't want to talk about it because of purity and things of that nature. And there sometimes the purity people looking at the ones who are a bit more on the freedom side and say like, "Oh, you're just down and dirty," and it's like
Mm.
there's just so many personalities and perspectives about these topics that everybody goes through.
Mm.
But then I do feel like what human beings need to do is you need to have a respectful sit down of what's going on. Yes, there are some things out there like, no, that is wrong.
Yeah.
That is wrong. That is not good. That is not healthy. There is a level of, discernment and knowing what is right and what is wrong.